Hello everybody, happy Sunday, welcome back to episode 6 of the Weeb Couch podcast. And we've got a good episode for you today, guys. I'm hyped for this episode, okay? Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, I'm Mason, and as always, joining me...
Dan, what's up? I can't think of anything funny this time.
Nice. So, we'll just get right into it. We'll start off, as we always do, with our anime section. We'll be showing off what we've been watching over the past week, and Dan can start us off with his show. Take it away.
Okay, so the anime that I watched is an anime called Charlotte. I think it's pretty well known.
Yeah, I would say so.
So let me give you a bit around the plot. So it follows the story of 4 main students in an alternate reality from Hishinomi Academy. I think I got that right. Which is a school founded to protect children with special abilities that develop during puberty. However, these abilities are lost once they reach adolescence. And as they search for and protect others like them throughout Japan. So it's pretty much just keeping them in check, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Sort of like a X-Men type thing.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the school, yeah.
Exactly. Just, yeah. And these guys include Yu Otosaka, which is a guy with the power to control any person, but only for 5 seconds, when directly looking at him, or at them, which is decently powerful. Then you've got Nao Tomoru, who has the ability to become invisible to one person she chooses, which is, I'd say, it's good. But
that's decent. It's all right.
Yeah. And you've got Jojiro Takajo with the power to move extremely quickly, making it look like teleportation.
That's cool.
Yusa Nishimori, who is usually possessed by her deceased pyrokinetic sister, due to her ability as a medium.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's.
Wait, so she basically has 2 powers then?
Well, no, because pretty much. She's a medium, but because of that, she's possessed by a dead sister.
Yeah.
It's let's just say it's very funny. It's very funny. The characters, they mesh together quite well. Don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But I'm even then I'm only 10 episodes in. I've still got 3 left to go. But I have heard that the ending isn't that good.
Yeah. It's that's probably why it's well known, I would say, because the ending the ending comes out of nowhere, I would say.
Yeah.
But
But it makes up for it due to Tomori herself being a top tier waifu.
Wait, hang on. Which one is Tamori again?
It's the main girl.
Hey, I see.
Blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yes, not the sister. Jesus.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, she's great.
The sister is cool though. Like, she makes his lunch every day or something, right?
It's very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really fun. It's well animated as well. It was done in 2015.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just once again, just pretty feel good. Another goddamn slice of life. You know me.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's just pretty fun. I watched it sub, and voice acting's good. Would not know about the dub. Never like watching things dub.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the dub on this one. I also watched it sub.
Watch it on your own accord.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like how it sort of starts off a little bit episodic, where they go and recruit different, or safeguard different students, but then like the wider story sort of opens up later on in the show. It's good.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I actually would recommend it. It's actually really fun.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd give it a 7. I give it a 7. It's good. I would may change with the later final 3 episodes, but who knows? You know?
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So go and check it out. Charlotte. It's pretty good. I can say I've also seen it. One of the OG animes I watched actually a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really good. If you want a bit of it's not too heavy leaning on the sci-fi side. It is sort of more of a slice of life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it has the sci-fi powers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess we can go to my anime then. My anime is a lot more well known, I would say, and is the Promised Neverland. So this anime's got a massive reputation, I would say. It only came out in I think 2018-ish, and anyone who's well known with sort of seasonal anime and sort of the rise of seasonal anime in the past few years will be familiar with the Promised Neverland, and it's sort of it focuses around these 3 kids, Emma, Norman, and Ray, and they're all 12 years old. Well, they're all 11. They're going to be 12, and they live in this house, which they think is an orphanage that they've been sort of deposited in when they were babies, and they're the oldest kids there, and they take care of all the little kids and stuff. And it sort of starts off as this really cute slice of life anime, which I thought it would continue to be on, because I didn't really hear much about the plot when I went into it. But it takes a turn. Like, I don't want to get too heavy into spoilers, but all I'm saying now is like episode 1 stuff, so it's pretty good. It's pretty safe. But it turns out that they are not actually just waiting for families to come and take them from this orphanage. They are in fact going to be farmed to be eaten by demons, pretty much. And it's revealed that the demons are sort of have taken over this society outside of this orphanage, which itself is surrounded by a massive wall. And the series pretty much charts their attempts to escape. I won't go too deep into anything else really about their attempts, because that is obviously spoilers, and the revelations that they make about the world and stuff. And yeah, I would say it's very, very solid anime. I think it's really good, and it deserves all the praise it's been getting.
Definitely been on my to watch, because just by the opening itself is.
Oh, the opening is the opening slaps as well. So good. And all the characters, like with Charlotte, all the characters go together so well. Like, the chemistry, again, I watched this subbed, and I've heard the dub is not too bad. I've seen a few clips of it. I've heard it's not terrible. But yeah, obviously, we would always recommend you watch it subbed. And I mean, I can't really, because it is a mystery show, I can't really say much about the plot, than giving spoilers, but the head of the house, Isabella, she's probably my favourite character. She's the main villain also. She's so good in how manipulative and scheming she is, sort of like Light Yagami from Death Note.
Oh no.
She's sort of that, always 3 steps ahead. I mean, I guess it's more like L from Death Note, but if he was evil.
Light is 20 steps behind.
Yeah. So it's pretty much L, but evil, and I love that. And then halfway through the show, a character called Sister Crone comes in as an assistant to Isabella. Also an absolutely amazing character. In my opinion, they didn't really explore her enough for me to like her enough, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. And it's season 2 is confirmed, which is great. Season 2 is coming in January, so really, really soon. There's been a bunch of stuff released about that already, like the opening and the a trailer, promo video, stuff like that. It looks very good. It does look like it's going to expand on the world and stuff like that outside of the walls, sort of like Attack on Titan is doing now with season 4. Hopefully with better success, but that's just my opinion. And yeah, I would highly recommend checking it out. It's on Crunchyroll. I don't think it's on Netflix. And I think it's also on Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime have been acquiring a bunch of animes recently. I've been trying to build up an anime library.
Get it, Bezos.
Yeah, come on, Bezos. He's got to tap into everything. Netflix won't have anything now. The one thing that's keeping me on Netflix is the anime selection.
I'm not even on. Why even bother? just use the legal sites.
Of course. Yeah, I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of mystery anime. Like, all of the interactions between the kids are really cute as well. Like, you know, you have the little kids and the babies and stuff like that. And the children are not annoying at all, which surprised me, considering it's an anime focused solely around children. And I didn't find any of them annoying, as opposed to anime like, you know, Naruto, which is also focused around children, and I find every single character in that show annoying as hell.
Yeah, they didn't do children great in that one.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, go and check it out. It's by, I believe it's animated by Production IG, who also make Attack on Titan, and they've made a bunch of other stuff which I couldn't name right now. But the animation is really clean, considering it's not like, it doesn't really need to be, considering it's a very self-contained sort of drama show rather than like a massive shonen fighting whatever. But the animation is really, really good, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm eagerly anticipating season 2, because I haven't read the manga, but I've heard that it gets a lot better. So, high hopes. I'm giving Promised Neverland season 1 an 8. I'm giving it an 8.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, just can't wait for season 2. Go and check it out if it seems like your cup of tea. And with that, I will move on to my manga, which is something I don't know if it's a lot different, but you know, it's a hiking manga called Monkey Peak, and it's ongoing right now. It started, I think, in 2019. It's still going. I am up to date on it. I think there are 34 chapters out right now. They're releasing every 2 weeks. So if you like the sound of it, you know, it's not that much to catch up on. And it focuses on the employees of this huge pharmaceutical company that go on a hike into this mountain range in Japan. This huge mountain range as like a team building exercise, like a company exercise. And they get attacked by a monkey. But it's not a monkey. It's quite obviously someone in a monkey suit who is like attacking them, picking them off one by one. And it sort of feeds into this legend around the mountain about a monkey god who once sat there, and he's like a vengeful god or something. And we haven't really been confirmed if that's true or not, because obviously the manga's still ongoing, but you could draw your own conclusions. And it's sort of gruesome, where you see him, you know, killing each individual employee off one by one, and you can see sort of the narrative is mostly focused on how the employees like break up and they form into factions, because like they're stuck out here with this thing and they can't get home, and there's the huge problem is like water and food and stuff like that, because the monkey has pretty much cut off all their ties to the outside world. And he's sort of he's playing with them, really. You know, it's sport. Or, yeah, it's like a Hunger Games type thing. He's like sort of watching them turn on each other, and it's really it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's very good, because sometimes it's a little bit predictable. There is the main character guy. He's sort of your generic cookie cutter. You know, I've had a troubled youth, and I was a delinquent, but now I'm helping other people, stuff like that. And there's really not much I can say about it now because the manga is still going on. But I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of more sort of cerebral manga. Sort of like the Promised Neverland. It's not focused on the action, although there is action, and it is very well drawn. I will say that. It reminds me sort of a manga like Gantz or Fire Punch, if any of you have read those.
Fire Punch, I know of it.
Yeah, Fire Punch is a lot more recent. I think that's ongoing as well. Gantz is a bit older, but both of them very well drawn, very gory. And the gore in this sort of reminds me of that. Extremely well drawn, and I wouldn't say it's well written, because like I said, sometimes the plot gets very predictable and you can see where it's going, and sometimes the dialogue is a little bit clunky, although that might just be translation, I'm not sure. But if you just want a quick read, because like I said, there's only 34 chapters and they're only like 15 pages long or something, and that includes, full page panels and stuff like that. It won't take you that long to read. So I'm going to give Monkey Peak a strong 6. Not quite a 7. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. There's not really much you can say about this one until it is updated. And I might revisit it once there's more, because I definitely plan to keep reading this. Yeah. Dan, onto your manga.
My manga was something I never knew, I've never known about before. So it was, quite new to me. So it's called Solanin. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
And it's about these guy and a girl named Meiko and Taneda, who graduated from university 2 years ago. And because they have no real goals or direction, which I, for one, could associate myself with. They step into society completely clueless, not knowing what. And so Meiko goes off to work as an office lady to pay rent for her apartment, while Taneda works as an illustrator in a press company, earning just enough to take some of Meiko's burden. And while Taneda often meets up with his bandmates from their university days to jam, he still feels something is missing. And his bandmates know what it is. They need to step out, promote themselves, and let their songs be heard by a larger crowd, which has been their dream since first meeting in the university pop music club. But then, they were unhappy with the rhythm of their normal graduate lives. Things change when 2 important decisions are made by them. Meiko decides to quit her job, and Tanada decides to devote time to write his first proper song for the band. Having broken free of their old routines, they now find themselves uncertain of where their new life will take them. Slowly, Meiko and Tanada come to embrace their unpredictable future together, but an unexpected tragedy occurs, jading their lives and the lives of their friends forever. Which I will not spoil at last part. But I'm gonna just say it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's very it's very life orientated.
Yeah.
I could feel for this one. It was one where it made sense. It wasn't just something to randomly watch. It was sad, but I enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed it. I like I love how everything just felt when I was reading it. It felt real,
Yeah.
Extremely real. Yeah. And plus I could relate to them. So it was good. And now I haven't even talked about the art yet. The art style in it is great. I love the art style. It's so unique in how they draw what's his name? Inio Asano draws the characters. They're very well done.
Yeah, I've seen a few stills of it, and it does look incredibly unique, I would say.
Very fun. And I actually really, really like the story. Really like how everything comes together.
Yeah.
Properly. It's was made back in 2005, so pretty long ago. And it only has 2 volumes, so it's quite short.
Yeah. Yeah, it's its own sort of self-contained thing, really. It's a short read.
Yeah. There is a live-action film. Did not bother doing anything with it. had my fair share of bad experiences with live action anime films.
Well, yeah, we just need to look no further than the Full Metal Alchemist live
Exactly
action.
my point.
Yeah.
Yep. Which came out 4 years after the anime had finished. The manga, sorry, had finished being published.
All right.
Yeah. Haven't even looked at it. Yeah. There's no anime or manga. There's no anime about it. Pretty sure. So this is the only way you're probably gonna get like a proper done of it.
Yeah.
It's very coming of age and like romance. But I like that. I do like that in some things because, you know, we're at that age now where it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We're getting that. We're all going off on doing our own separate things, going to uni, taking dropout years, doing apprentices. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I really dig it because it was like I'm at the perfect age to read this. It's great. Like very well done.
Nice.
And it's I think it's a sign-in, so it's not for your tiny little teenagers.
Yeah, it's
It's
sort
a
of
bit
got some adult themes. In
Yeah.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing explicit, I would say. Nothing
No.
like in your face.
No, not like Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Main character dying in the first 5 episodes.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing like that. But yeah, I would say it's like very good. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
It's good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's
Brilliant.
short, it's sweet. Definitely recommend giving it a read. And yeah, that's all I have to say to it. Give it a read. And I think that can which ties in to my comic, which I read, which is the complete opposite.
Yeah,
where
yeah, it's a bit of a polarizing thing here.
I read Spawn Blood Feud. Now, I know jack shit about Spawn. I have no idea. I just know he's cool and he has guns and big weapons.
He's Venom with guns.
Yeah, I genuinely have no idea.
Yeah.
So going into this comic, I had no clue what was going on. So basically, it opens with a string of murders across the city. And as blood and viscera splatter across the page, elsewhere, Al Simmons dreams. But actually, it says the symbiotic suit dreams of being Al and hunting down demons in a glorious frenzy. You know, he's trying to get his heart on.
Yeah, exactly.
Then Al is awoken by his homeless mates, and he's what is that word? He's in a confused stupor. No idea what that word is. And takes off down an alley to find some time alone and get his head on straight, wondering what about his suit has changed. So he can tell that something's up with his suit, but he doesn't know what.
Yeah.
And pretty much yeah, and so this guy named, John Sanska is brought in by the police. He's a specialist. And he blames Spawn for the killings, as he labels the anti-hero a vampire. Obviously, we all know that's just not exactly the case whatsoever.
Yeah. Sort of, yeah.
And he uses the public information campaign to single out Spawn as the extra normal hazard, while helicopter surveillance teams patrol from the skies at night.
Yeah. And
the campaign torments Al, and he's furious about the public thinking he's a monster. And he comes to painful odds with his suit, and the unseen killer strikes again. When Al finally comes to form blacking out again, he is surrounded by cops and covered in blood, believing that his suit is the cause of the attacks. So, big dramatic moment there.
Yeah.
Al tears it from himself and locks it in a chest, and he tosses it into the water. Assuming he can finally rest well, Al goes to sleep under the eye of his friends, only to awaken to one of them having driven a wooden stake through his heart. Pretty shocking.
Friends.
Yeah, friends. and then Al is set on fire after being staked through his chest. And because of that, he hurls himself into the water. But because of this pain, his suit feels it as well, and then tries to reach out to him. And after making his way to land, Al is surprised by the clown. No idea who that is.
Yeah, the reoccurring villain from Spawn.
Yeah. The suit, seeking some sort of clarity from his nemesis. The clown reminds Al that his suit is a living thing. It feeds on souls, not blood, and Al is already dead.
Yeah.
So there's no way he's a vampire. Well, duh. And if anything, the suit is going through some sort of breeding cycle, and the sleepwalking is a symptom of a restless symbiote. Al realizes he's innocent and takes off to clear his name.
So Spawn is horny.
Very. The real killer has been found out by at least one detective, and now he's after Spawn before things get worse. When he finds him, Sanska forces the car Al is driving off the road, and once again, the Hellspawn goes for a swim. But the deep is just where Al needs to be reunited with his suit, and so he dives. Detective Sam Burke is already on the scene, and he's onto something. Oh. Even if he isn't quite sure what just yet, Sanska decides that his time in the shadows is over for now, and goes on a bloody and violent rampage.
Yep.
So who would have thought the guy that they brought in and accused Spawn is actually the main bad guy? Yeah.
Kind of obvious, really.
Yeah. As he tears off pieces of like the officers through countless bullets that he shooks off, he's interrupted by Spawn's arrival from the deep. He's like, whoa! And he's reunited with his suit, having found their shared focus once more.
Aww.
It's okay. I don't really. It's okay. I'm gonna just say this. Didn't care much about the story.
Yeah.
To be honest,
You don't read Spawn for the story, though.
No, but what I did enjoy was the goddamn art style.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love how it's so gritty and just like so many hard edges. Everything looks so cool with it.
Yeah.
And after that, I really think that's about it. What I enjoyed it with, it's the story.
Spawn is always just a character that you read just for fun, really, because he
yeah,
sort of comes in here with his massive guns. He sort of just
I enjoyed like the surprise of like when he got him like impaled and set on fire. I thought that was funny. It took me off. It caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And I do like the thought that Spawn's suit is it's a living thing, so obviously it's going to go through stages of its life. I get
exactly.
that.
Yeah, it is like Venom, and I think Spawn and Venom were made by the same guy, but don't quote me on that, because Spawn, in my opinion anyway, Spawn has always been like what Venom wanted to be, but sort of Marvel is too kid friendly.
Oh God, yes.
To make Venom that dark and that gory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can say it's fun if you just don't care about like a mediocre story.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'd say just from the artwork alone and like the things I enjoyed being like that, I'd say 5, maybe 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like if the story was better, maybe like a 7. But since it isn't, putting it down.
Fair enough.
If you like Spawn, if you like just like, some back, like, yeah. If you like Spawn,
it's a side story, because I remember that, this took place like in between a hiatus on the main Spawn series. So like, it is just a bit of a side story.
Yeah, it's just about developing the character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I kind of like when they do stuff like this, just in anything. So if you like that, if you like the sound of it, give it a read. Even if you know the plot, it's not much of a surprise. But the artwork is amazing, so definitely give it a read if you like Spawn art.
Great. So 5 or 6 out of 10 for Spawn Blood Feud. And I think that takes us on to my comic then, which is surprisingly similar.
What?
my comic is the Image Comics original. Image Comics is probably the largest sort of independent comic producer. It's definitely the largest comic producer after Marvel and DC.
Wow.
Yep, and I've never really got into Image Comics before, but if this is the kind of content they put out, I will definitely be reading more of their series. My comic for this week is Ice Cream Man, which, don't let the name fool you, it's one of the darkest comics I've ever read in my life. And it's sort of, again, this is a comic which is currently ongoing. It's been going since 2018. I think there are 21 issues currently. It's monthly, so that's about right. I must be right on that. So Ice Cream Man is a series of unconnected stories. Well, they seem to be unconnected at the beginning, about different people's lives getting like taken over like by misfortune and bad luck. And it's revealed that the thing behind all this is the Ice Cream Man, which is like an entity. He's sort of like Pennywise from It, where he like takes a bunch of different forms, but his true form is not really known. And the most common form he takes is an ice cream seller. So he's sort of like, this image of niceness and happiness, and it sort of flips it on his head, and he's really an evil alien monster. And it's very gory, very bloody, deals with some hard subject matter as well. Like, I was not expecting it to go as deep as it did when I read it. And also there are some great parodies of existing comic stuff. There is a parody of the original Detective Comics 27, which is the first appearance of Batman. There is an entire issue of Ice Cream Man, which is literally just a parody of that, like panel for panel, and it was pretty funny. There's also a Dr. Seuss parody where the issue is like a rhyming story featuring the Ice Cream Man. Yeah, instead of the Grinch, it's the Ice Cream Man.
Grinch stole yours, and how the Ice Cream Man stole your body.
Pretty much, it's really good. There is an entire issue where the entire issue is a palindrome, so it can be read both forwards and backwards, and it blew my mind. Because you get two completely different stories, and that's like the level of writing that this series has, which I was not expecting. I was expecting it to just be like, a serial killer alien story or whatever, but the actual like writing talent behind it is some of the best I've seen in comics for a while, certainly in like the 2010s. And I hope that this series continues for ages, because it's got like the mystery behind it. Like, we still don't know much about the Ice Cream Man, and there's also this guy who is hinted to be like his brother or his cousin, who is like a good, yin and yang. He's like the good version of him. It's sort of like Black Mirror in a way, the Netflix show, where it's like a dark version of our near future.
Yeah.
But less focused on technology and more focused on the people, and I dig it. There's a whole episode which is like it's a very respectful sort of story of an Alzheimer's patient and like his final moments, and it was really, really well done, and I really, really appreciate how respectful it was, because like I said, they tackle some heavy stuff, but they always do it in a way which is a good story, but it's also really respectful. And it's not pandering, sort of thing, which is a hard balance to strike nowadays, especially in comics. Just look at what Marvel are doing right now. It's sort of falling flat on its face, their attempts to tackle more heavy issues. And I'm glad that this comic is doing it correctly. So if you want a good read, I think there are 24 issues out right now. So each issue is pretty long. It's like 30 or 40 pages long. But I would say it's well worth the read. Pick up the trade paperbacks if you can. I think there are 4 trade paperbacks out right now. Ice Cream Man is incredible. I'm gonna give it a 9. I have to give it a 9. I really, really like this story, and I hope it continues for a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So something that onto the games, a game that a lot of people are thinking should not continue at all. And a game in some respects has been discontinued. Well, we'll get onto that in our news section.
Yeah, it's a joint review for this.
It is a joint,
game.
yes. We thought that,
Like
we need the time, pretty much. There's a lot to cover in this game. And the game, of course, is Cyberpunk 2077. It's here. It's finally here. We didn't review it last week, which is the week it came out. Partly because last week was our special episode, and partly because we just didn't have enough time to get into the game enough to talk about it, because it is a huge game. And what is there really to say about, introducing it? Everyone knows at this point what Cyberpunk 2077 is. You customize your character and you choose a life path, one of 3, which allegedly changes your entire story depending on which one you pick, and then you are thrust into the story, and pretty much the story goes pretty much the same, really, doesn't it, depending on what life path you pick.
I will say this, it does pretty much only change the first 15 minutes of the game, and then some dialogue options, and that's it, but they don't really add anything.
Yeah, and Cyberpunk has got this reputation now, this infamous image of really being terribly optimized and full of glitches and unfinished, stuff like that, especially on the PS4 and Xbox One editions of it. We're not going to be reviewing those, we're going to be talking about the PC edition.
Neither of us have played it on the consoles,
Yeah.
but we know.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah. This is going to be a completely impartial review, by the way. I know I personally do not put any blame on the developers for it being unfinished. I do think that it is the fan base's fault, but I'm trying to be non-biased in this review. And in terms of what we got, we have to look at what we actually have rather than what we want in this game. And what we have is pretty solid. I can't lie. It's a good RPG. That's basic. Obviously, this comes from CD Projekt Red, which are famous for making the Witcher series. Some, along with the Elder Scrolls, probably the most well-known RPG series ever. And this game sort of builds on the mechanics that The Witcher had, but sort of drops it into a futuristic setting, which I love the world. I've got to say that right now. Night City is absolutely gorgeous to look at. Maybe not on PS4, but on PC at least. It's very good to look at. And I mean, this is obviously playing on. I'm playing on low settings because I want the maximum frame rate. But even on low settings, I think it looks very, very good. Which the same can't be said for the character designs, though. I've got to say that. It's two sides of the same coin, because the world looks great, but the characters don't. I think especially Johnny Silverhand, who is played by Keanu Reeves. He's been video mapped into this game, and it shows. I don't know if anyone has ever seen Shark Tale, but for that movie...
Not the movie, the game Shark Tale.
No, I'm talking about the movie, because Will Smith was video mapped.
Oh, wait, sorry. I thought you meant as in, like, how it looks graphically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Game Boy game, I think, pretty much sums up Johnny Silverhand's appearance in this game. Jesus Christ. He does not. Yeah. Everyone has seen the cinematic from a year or two ago, Wake Up Samurai, we have a city to burn. He doesn't look like that.
No, he doesn't look like Keanu, he just looks...
He looks like a custom character. He doesn't look like a video mapped real life person. He looks like someone I would make in the game.
Yeah. That's sad, because thing is, they didn't realize, we can edit the character after it's been video mapped to make it just look better. No, they just... Yeah.
They just threw him in.
And like, obviously, his voice acting's still good. Like, you can still hear Keanu in him.
Yeah, I
you
do.
know.
I do like his character. I enjoy his character.
Yeah, but I can't say the same thing about the design. It's like it looks cheap, is how I see it.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
looks.
Yeah.
They could have just made a full-on model like Jackie. They
Yeah.
made your accomplice in all of the different stories.
Yeah.
He looks good. I really like how he looks. He looks pretty HD.
Yeah,
in
I do.
most
Yeah,
things.
I like his design also.
But every time you see Johnny, it's never HD.
Yeah.
It always looks bad, and I don't know why.
It is weird. It's weird.
Why did Jackie look good?
Yeah, the
but then
decision
Johnny
to not edit his model after they video mapped him is just weird. They just threw him in, and he looks like a 2009 character. Like, let alone 2077. He looks like 2007.
Are we going to talk about glitches?
We can talk a little bit about glitches. I don't want this whole thing to be consumed with glitches, but yeah, the game is pretty buggy still on PC after patches.
Yeah. I've had
yeah.
quite a few.
Yeah.
There is a patch now. Well, not now, like a few days ago at least.
Yeah.
A patch came out.
Yeah, it doesn't really fix much, in my opinion.
No.
It fixes bugs that the other people are having, like the infamous penis clipping bug, where your dong would sort of just hang out of your trousers. That's fixed, but they still haven't fixed any of like the game breaking ones, which again is really strange to me.
Like one that I had, which wasn't as game breaking, but it was to a point at which I had to reload a save to do a mission again.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty game breaking.
Yeah.
So pretty much, the mission that I was doing, it's a side mission, so don't worry about it. You're not gonna get spoiled.
Yeah.
This guy, I needs to make money, so I took a job from this guy who told me to take a package, get it from the slums, get it into a car that he's gonna call for me, and then, drive it back to him. Simple enough. Sound like okay, that's fine. Got to the slums, no guards around, pretty much. I was like, okay, this could be easy. I found the package. Turns out it's a guy. And what you have to do is carry him from the edge of the slums to the car being parked, which is like a good 2-minute walk because you can't run while carrying someone.
Yeah.
So, funny enough, when you grab him, loads of guards spawn, tons, and if they spot you, they all go after you, and it's a nightmare. Doesn't help that I was under-leveled as well because their pistols were doing over 100 DPS already.
Yep.
And I was low on ammo already.
Yeah.
So I had to pick up guns where I could. And I tried this like 8 times, and I couldn't do it. I think I'm playing on hard difficulty. Yeah. So what I did was I thought ahead. After I died on the time, I thought, okay, how's about I pick up the guy, put him down, and then go to kill everyone. Like, silently.
Yeah.
And then go to do it. Go to pick up him, and then I have some scot-free. Right? Sounds good enough. Did that.
In theory.
It worked. I killed them all.
Yeah.
Went to go get the guy. The body despawned.
Yeah.
He was nowhere to be seen, but the icon still stated that he was in the building. So I had to reload my save file to then try that again. Same thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm picking him up, taking him to a corner, and then camping there. Because it's impossible to go there undetected, because there are guards like literally in near the entrance to where you have to put the car. So you're gonna be caught.
Yeah.
And if you're caught, then they shoot you, and they can shoot the body, which kills him, and then you lose the mission.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did it. I killed everyone. I got there. Got to my car. It was on fire. I lost the mission. I was like, what? Okay. So maybe they like shoot the car if they spot you early enough. Maybe. I don't know. So I loaded it again.
That would actually make sense.
Yeah, I loaded it again. Same thing happened. Car was on fire. Then I realized where the car's placement was. The car was placed on its upside down next to my car. So I pieced together that where I parked my car to then run into the slums was the exact spot where the pickup car spawns, meaning it instantly blows up when it spawns in, meaning unless I moved my car, I would, even if I completed the mission, would never be able to win it or succeed in it because the car would always blow up.
Done like Half-Life 2 running on Source Engine had better spawning physics than that.
And at that point, I gave up on the mission. I did not care, so I went to do something else. And that isn't even the one spawn issue I've had. I've had one other spawn issue where I spawned in my car to get it so I can drive to a place. It spawned in on another car right in front of me. I walked towards it. It flung me horizontally halfway across the map.
I've seen tons of launching glitches online. That's probably the most common navigational glitch in this game, where you go to open your car and it just flings you. It just sort of.
It didn't even allow me to get in it. I just like went near it and it flung me.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Like that one was funny, but it didn't help that was on day one.
Yeah.
That was like the glitch that I was like, okay, what the fuck was that?
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew the car spawned in, and I was wondering would that happen, and my question was answered with that. And I will say, as much as these glitches aren't intentional, like destroying the game, they are such immersion killers, man.
Yeah.
Like it's
the whole because the whole point of this game, like this game is very concept led, I would say.
Yeah.
Like the promise of going into the cyberpunk world is probably what drives the game the most.
Yeah.
And then once the game picked up hype, it sort of just drove itself. But yeah, like bugs like this totally take you out of it, which sort of negates the whole point of the game.
Yeah. And so some of the mechanics I don't agree with, like the spotting system is bollocks.
Yeah.
It's like they can sometimes spot you, and then there's sometimes like from like super far away, seeing you for a split second, or they can not spot you at all, even if like you're directly in front of them and you just walk like side by side to them.
Yeah.
They would see you in your peripheral vision, but these NPCs don't.
Exactly. Yeah. The NPCs, like I was in a mission where I had to steal a security like key card from an NPC, and it's not like traditional stealth games where you can just get up behind them and take it off their belt or whatever. You have to like knock the guy out or kill him, but the guy is like standing with his back to another NPC.
Yes.
And
yes.
I had to like get behind him and break his neck or whatever, but I couldn't without the other NPC spotting me, and I just sort of stood there looking at them.
Yes.
For maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, and they just didn't move, because I was like, maybe he's going to move away and I'll have a chance or something, but they just stood there, stock still, not giving me a chance, so I just had to start a shootout and just shoot the guy. Obviously that alerted the other guy, and then about 20 other guys just came out of random doorways that had just spawned.
I know the exact mission you're talking about, because it pissed me, that mission pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's a mission for stealth.
Yeah.
It is a complete stealth mission, and I loved that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm a proper stealth fan, so what I did, if I got spotted and the shootout started, I would reload my save to make sure that I would get the full-on stealth mission, because there's more fun than doing full-on shootouts. I don't like the gunplay in this game.
Yeah, the gunplay is another huge problem.
A part in the thing where it's impossible not to be spotted.
Yeah.
And that means that you have to start a gunplay. So my 50 reloads of a save were useless because I wanted to go full stealth. The game doesn't allow it.
Yeah.
And that peaked, got on my super on my nerves. I did not like how they did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it could have been a full stealth mission. It like get rid of a few guards in certain places, and then boom, you have yourself a full stealth mission.
Yeah.
Which is good because it fits the theme of you escaping from a hotel.
Yeah.
You're not going to cause like a complete shootout in a hotel.
Exactly.
It's so dumb. I do not like how it set itself out.
Yeah. And
like,
it's sort of like a half-assed like Hitman clone at some points where like it tells you to dispose of the body. Like you kill someone or you knock someone out and then you have to like dump their body in a bin or something like you do in the Hitman games.
Yeah.
But like there's nowhere to put the bodies. Like I ended up having to like circuit around the area. So like because there's just not enough places to dispose of the bodies. If there's like 10 NPCs in an area, there's only like 3 bins or like 3 whatevers, random objects that you can put the bodies in. So I ended up just stacking the bodies in a corner because I wanted to go stealthily, but the game says it encourages stealth, but it doesn't give you the facilities to do a stealth playthrough.
And also the fact that many times if I put a body and it wasn't in a plate, and it wasn't in one of those boxes, like you said, in this exact mission, in the exact same mission that I was ranting about, the guards walk around. They will find the body.
Exactly.
And
it's sort of just a matter of time now. Like, if you can't put a body away, you have to leave it, and it's just sort of seeing whether you can take out the other guys in time before they spot it.
And that's very unlikely, because some guards are set on a path where they constantly move.
Yeah. It's very annoying. The lack of stealth is really annoying because there are some parts where I really wanted to do a stealth run through, but it just makes you do a run and gun basically.
Yeah.
Also, like your character is weak as fuck in this game. Like
dies
in like 5 hits.
Yeah, it's really disheartening because guys can take like 20 headshots.
Yeah.
But then I get killed in like 5 hits.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that enemies usually mass in numbers.
Exactly. And it works in games like, you know, like the Spider-Man games and like the PS4 Spider-Man game where you do die in like 5 hits because he's a regular guy, but like he has no like, you know, endurance enhancing properties or whatever, but you're like a cyborg. Surely you would be a little bit more resistant to damage than this. It's just a normal guy.
But also the fact that in Spider-Man there are ways of dodging attacks. There are ways of yes, of course. In Cyberpunk, just double tap the A movement key and you do a dash.
Yeah.
Only useful in hand-to-hand combat, which in my playing of the game is never done.
Yeah, it's useless.
Nobody goes hand-to-hand combat. Either there's like a gang of enemies, one person goes up to punch and hit you with bats.
Yeah.
The other like 10 have guns and are behind things and shoot you. It is useless.
Yeah, and even if you try and like 1v1 a guy with a gun, and hit them, like you will hit them, but they will just stand there and shoot at you. They won't go into melee with you, which is really annoying.
Yeah, okay. Enough about the bad parts. I enjoy the story. I like where it's going so far. Obviously, I'm nowhere near completing it.
Yeah,
but
I think I'm 30% through after like 10 hours.
I'm at 32 hours right now, but Jesus. I will say with a pinch of salt, like 9 of those hours are because I accidentally left it on overnight.
Oh, nice.
But I was like, so there's still it's like 23 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But even then, I've been doing side missions as well.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing. You can speak on side missions more than I have because I've just been blitzing through the story.
Yeah, I have been doing side missions. I do like the side missions. So far, I haven't done all of them, obviously.
Yeah.
But there are a lot to do. I will say there's quite a bit to do in side mission wise because there's a bunch of stuff where it's like, oh, go here to find something, or go here to make an easy buck, and they each have like easy, intermediate, or hard difficulty to tell you. If do you really want to do this?
Yeah,
and they kind of just like fetch. It's kind of like fetch quests, like just killing a bunch of dudes. And there are some things that I like where you can you have a police radio on you, and like you can go to like areas where like a police is about to go to stop like some like criminals doing shit. But I've only done that like once, and it wasn't fun because it was me versus like 15 people, and it took me 3 tries to do, and it was just boring.
Yeah.
Because it was all gunplay, and there was like nothing behind it. Oh, and one more thing. The enhancements, the upgrades, the leveling up, it's too slow to matter.
Yeah.
Definitely. It has like 20 upgrades, each with like 3 different upgrade parts to it. Yet you level up so slow. I like have barely anything.
Yeah, there is a balance. There is a balance that you need to strike with upgrades in games, I feel like. And this sort of just completely tips it over. Like,
yeah,
they give you way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make the missions give you more XP then, if you want us to get all these leveling up bonuses. And I get that it's like to encourage 100%ing and stuff, but like,
this game's huge.
Yeah.
I really think people are going to 100% it if it takes this long to level up.
The only people who are going to 100% this game are the people who, before it even comes out, have already decided it's like the best game ever.
Exactly.
Like those people.
It is not. It is not by a long shot.
It's definitely not what we were promised.
No.
But that doesn't make it bad. It's still fine.
Yeah, but it's final verdict for you?
I would give Cyberpunk, as it is right now, 7 out of 10. Low 7 though.
I would give it a 6.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the visuals. Surprisingly, my favorite part of the game is driving around in my car, looking at the sights.
Yeah.
In the city. That is my favorite part, which is not saying much on a game that strives in its being like shit to do. Where my favorite part is just driving around it.
Yeah.
And I do like how the driving mechanics do work in this game. I actually like it.
Yeah, which is commendable because it is the first time CD Projekt Red have had to code cars, because obviously The Witcher is set in a fantasy world.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, it's a little bit boring other than the story.
Yeah. If there's a difference between quality and quantity. There are a lot of side missions, but they're not all great.
No, exactly. Yeah, they didn't strike the
It's kind of like the Just Cause games. You know, there's a lot of stuff to do, but
they're all the same.
Yeah, after a while it just gets repetitive, which is sad.
Which I feel will be the exact same thing with this.
Yeah, which is sad because Cyberpunk was going to be this game that you could go back to and play over and over and over again, but it's just not. It just isn't.
Yeah.
Mainly because the life paths are all exactly the same. We were marketed as getting 3 separate campaigns, but it's one with 3 different beginnings.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've said this before, I say it again. I wouldn't mind them putting it back into development.
Yeah.
If they want, like, just delay it for, I don't even care, another year or two.
That's what I think as well.
Just to fix bugs, add more to the story.
Yeah.
In, like, 3 different stories. There's no point in picking whichever one it is because they're all the same.
Yeah.
And another one is just make it fun. Make leveling up fun. Make the gunplay fun. Make hand-to-hand combat more fun, because I don't like how hand-to-hand combat works. It's like, I have a katana. I hit him 3 times. The 3rd hit stuns him, so I can get the 3 hits again. 3rd hit stuns him. It's repetitive.
Yeah.
They don't fight back.
Also, you know, if you have a katana on like a regular guy, you shouldn't.
It doesn't, like, kills him in like 30 hits.
You shouldn't have to like pick away at his health bar if you take a katana to a regular guy. You should just it should just, you know, be an aiming thing. Like if you hit his neck, it chops his head off. He dies.
Okay, here's the thing. Do a Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Where you shoot is where their body parts are damaged.
Exactly.
Where you slice, that's where it's damaged.
Yeah.
That's what they want. Decrease the health bars. Make it easier to kill things, because they take too much bullets when you're surrounded. You're trying to kill people.
Yeah, it's not even like a thing like the game's too hard or whatever, because it isn't. but it's
No.
just it takes too long to kill them. It's not hard to kill them, but it just takes too long because they have too much health.
Which is why you stealth, because
Yeah.
if you get behind them, it's a one-hit kill.
Yeah, which is what a headshot should be anyway.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's that's another thing I have a gripe with.
Yeah.
What I love in some stealth games is if you're unnoticed and behind someone and you headshot them, it kills them instantly.
Yeah.
Why don't they have that in this game? It heavily promotes stealth. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
And one final thing I will say that I have a bit of a grouch about, but that may just be me.
Mm-hmm.
They chose the wrong keys for certain attributes. I find myself constantly, accidentally consuming a health thing when I'm trying to call my car.
Oh, yeah, because they're right next to each other.
They're right next to each other, and they're keys that you never see being pressed. Z and X, you never see being pressed. Why is it not E or R? Well, no, R is reload, but E is used. F I think is used.
I'm not sure. I play it on controller, so.
Ew. Why not something on like G or H or something not underneath my hand?
Yeah, I get that.
Maybe V or B, because they're like next to each other. Just make it so that it's more accessible, because I have smallish hands, but it's like it's too much. I think they just obviously you can change it with the key bindings, obviously, but they shouldn't have thought about. They should not. You shouldn't have to change that in the game. I shouldn't have to change key bindings for like to make it like
playable.
What's the word? No, what's the word? Like better on the players.
Yeah.
I can't remember it's a phrase that you use. No, not personalized. It's like
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah,
it's easier for the player to handle.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking self of life.
Quality of life.
Quality of life. Yes, that. Just they should have thought about that before adding it in, because I shouldn't have to change my keys to add that.
Yeah, I get that.
Other than that, I think we can move on from it. It needs a lot more.
Yeah.
It needs to be fixed. It needs to have more in it.
One more thing as well. The crafting is too simple.
Okay, no, I never crafted in the entire game because I hate crafting mechanics in games like that. I hate it.
Yeah, I get that, but like in an RPG, the crafting should be more fleshed out than it is in this game. You get like rare item components and like uncommon item components, and if you have one component, you can make one rare item, and it's just like you don't need specific things, and it really annoys me because I've played like the Fallout games and the Witcher games where crafting is like an essential part of gameplay, and it's hard. So like this game dumbs it down massively. But yeah, apart from that, Cyberpunk, I would recommend do not pick it up until it is finished.
Yeah,
because CD Projekt Red have said that they will be working on more patches and updates.
Good.
And it's I don't want to commend them for that though, because that's just expected because the game is unfinished at this point.
Yeah, it's. I would say if you want to play a game just for the story and don't care about bad graphics and possible like game-breaking glitches, then pick it up.
Yeah, but you could just watch the cutscenes on YouTube. Just watch the movie. Or
just watch a playthrough.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, I would not recommend it.
Yeah.
Would not recommend it.
I would not either. It's fine if you've already bought it. It's fine.
We have.
Yeah, we pre-ordered it. But if you haven't bought it, don't buy
it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all we have to say about Cyberpunk 2077, and we can move on to our film, which has actually been requested by a viewer. It is the Christopher Nolan.
Well, look at you then.
Yeah, look at you.
Whoever you are, well done. Thanks for confusing us.
Exactly. If you want, anyone else wants their film or their anime or comic or whatever, you want us to talk about it, leave us a comment, Instagram DM, email us, all that good stuff in the description. And our film for this week is Christopher Nolan's latest picture, which is Tenet. And I think Dan understood this more than me. But I'll give you
that isn't strange, though.
Yeah, I'll give you a basic run through, no spoilers. So the film focuses on our protagonist called the Protagonist, as he's like recruited into this super secret agency that focuses around time and preventing the future. And it's like there's going to be this massive world-ending event in the future, and we need you to stop it. And it's like if this guy gets 9 like really dangerous elements. Pardon?
Sorry, I just made it. So the 9 chaos. The 9
chaos emeralds. It's basically that. Like if he gets like these 9 dangerous metals or something, and he slaps them all together to make what looks like a massive metal lightsaber, then the world's going to end.
I'll have an ass.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it basically. And so yeah, the movie's focused on time. Like if you know anything about Christopher Nolan's films, obviously he's made Inception and Interstellar. You know that he likes to confuse the audience. Yeah,
it's time, and it's also based on entropy.
Yeah, which I know nothing about whatsoever.
It's a big sciencey term, which is very difficult to understand. I shall give you the... Should I give you the actual definition or like the simple definition?
Give me the simple one because I knew nothing about this.
Yeah. Entropy... It's... Hold on. The entropy of an object is a measure of the amount of energy which is unavailable to do work. It also measures the number of possible arrangements the atoms in a system can have. In sense, entropy is a measure of uncertainty or randomness.
Yep. Thank you for that, Professor.
Any chemists out there? I think it's chemistry. I think.
Know. Is this chemistry or physics? It's either one.
Yeah, I think it's chemistry. But entropy for kids, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie is rated 12, and no 12-year-old is going to understand this movie.
I don't understand it. I don't do A-level chemistry.
Exactly. Like,
I'm sure we'll have like some big brain chemistry nerds in the fucking comments saying, "Oh, how did you not understand it?" Exactly, God, what a...
But we're dumb. Okay, we're dumb-dumbs. We didn't understand the movie.
Yeah, exactly. But, however, we didn't understand it. But it's fucking sick.
It was still exhilarating. Yeah.
Yeah. It like visually, it's astonishing.
Yeah.
And like the effects are amazing of how everything goes in reverse. I love how they did it.
Christopher Nolan, the king of special effects.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You see it in Inception, which is actually 10 years old now. Like.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
It doesn't even look like 1-year-old. He could release that exact same movie today, and I would still get the same amount of enjoyment out of it because it just looks so.
I need to watch it. It's olden, but it's been a while. It's been a long time.
And then Interstellar again, one of my favorite films of all time. It's probably my favorite Christopher Nolan film. Again, the effects in that, like the black hole in that movie, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, the effects in this, like the reverse. So like it's really weird because the movie barely explains like what's happening.
Like it tries to, but it doesn't do very well.
Yeah. It's like the protagonist shoots a gun, but then like it's like the bullet has already been in the target, so it like goes back into his gun.
Yeah.
It
shoots. Yeah, it reverse shoots it pretty much.
Exactly.
It's like there's a machine that can change an object's entropy.
Yeah,
and
like
the bullet and gun have had that effect on them, and because of that, the entire mechanics of the gun is reversed.
Yeah,
I think that's how they explain it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. And,
I do like how like out there and like weird this entire thing is. I dig it. I wish movies were more like out there with their things, but I feel like they tried too hard to go too out there with this movie there's
this bit where like the protagonist goes into like the entropy machine and he comes out in like the reverse world, and they sort of try and dress it up as like more complicated than it actually is, but it's really just a world where things are going backwards. So like you see the previous events of the film going backwards, but he like has a new perspective on it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and obviously like main villain,
main villain he's this great like like Shakespeare-esque, you know, like Machiavellian, like classic villain. He like talks in a really posh voice. He like explains his plan. And he's got like his glass of wine. It's really it's really comic performance. I think
I've seen him before.
Yeah, I think it's Kenneth Branagh who plays him, who is he's like a Shakespearean theatre actor, so he plays the part really well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and John David Washington, who plays the protagonist, he was great. I really liked him in this film. He's sort of
Yeah. Has he been in any other stuff?
he is the main character in Black Klansman, which is an amazing film.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that.
Yeah,
like properly.
absolutely brilliant.
So funny.
Yeah, and he's good in this as well. He's got that comic side of him.
Yeah,
and it's sort of
especially we kind of need it in this kind of movie where nothing makes.
Yeah, and in a year without James Bond, obviously James Bond has been pushed back and back and back. The latest James Bond film. Now it's coming out in April, I think.
Oh, cool.
But you know that is subject to change. It was originally meant to come out in March this year, but now it's April next year. And you know, in a world without James Bond, he's sort of I like his performance as like this secret agent guy. I like it. I like it a lot. It's sort of a good place filler for James Bond. And Robert Pattinson in this movie, I really like him in this movie. He's like the protagonist's sort of companion, sort of guy, and I don't know if he's actually British, but his British accent is really good.
Hold on.
And there's this great scene where they're like infiltrating this fortress, and they sort of like fling themselves up the wall.
Mason?
Yeah.
He was born in London.
Brilliant. I knew it.
English.
I knew it.
So I would be surprised if his British accent wasn't good.
Well, I don't know. Well, his American accent is also good then, because obviously he's in Twilight, and he plays an American guy in that.
Watch them.
Yep. No, we don't. But yeah, all of the performances are really good in this film.
Yeah, the acting is good.
Yeah, the acting is good. The script could be better. I feel like this is where the film lets itself down, in my opinion, because you sort of like there are no real stakes, because it's like, oh, there's going to be this massive big crisis, but it's never actually explained what's going to happen when he gets these like these 9 metals, this lightsaber.
Yeah, I do have what it is here, but I think that may be spoilers.
Yeah, it's spoilers, but once again, like, I had to look it up afterwards because it's not really given. Yeah. It's not given to the viewer, and any plot that you have to look up is kind of bad.
That's the thing. It's as stated by Chris Stuckman, who is a reviewer on YouTube who reviewed Tenet.
Yep.
He stated this, and I think it was very true. It's gonna take most people 2 or 3 watches of the movie to properly understand it.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that is definitely why, because I went on Wikipedia and had to look stuff up because I didn't really understand it.
So did I. And again, while we're on the very few negatives that this film has, the only other real gripe I had with it was the sound mixing. Like, Christopher Nolan always makes loud films.
Yeah.
But you can't hear the dialogue in this movie because the music is so blaring. And that is, I get that it's meant to, you know, put you into the scene and stuff like that, but it just got annoying after like half an hour. And the soundtrack was good though. I can't lie, the soundtrack was very good. It's not Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer has composed all of Christopher Nolan's previous films.
I have a guy here if you want to say.
It's Ludwig. Is it Ludwig something?
Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah, Göransson. Which, again, he is also a really famous film composer, and I don't think he does a bad job. But it's not Hans Zimmer. It's not really the same, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, it's a weird film.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's a long film as well. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes long.
The runtime, hold on, is 150 minutes. So yeah, 2.5 hours.
Yeah. but it's a wild ride. Like the final action sequence as well, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And while it does sort of come out of the blue, and you're sort of like, okay, this is happening now, it is very, very, it's very well choreographed. Obviously, like, it's sort of like two groups, and one of them is in normal entropy, and one of them is in reverse entropy. So one of them is doing all the reverse stuff, and like you see sort of like the reversed people setting up stuff that the normal people use, which I really like.
So it's like so cool. It was thought out, didn't it? It was thought out. We can tell.
Yeah, you can tell that Nolan did put a lot of thought into this concept, but he didn't share that thought with the viewer. He sort of keeps it to himself.
Yeah. It's like, go away, guys. I've got this.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Exactly. And I do feel like there is a little bit of sequel bait at the end.
Yeah, there's stuff that they can add on to it. There's definitely stuff that they could, like, make a sequel out of to help understand it.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't be opposed to, because it was a great movie.
Yeah, I know. And the only other sort of series that Christopher Nolan has done is the Dark Knight trilogy with Batman.
Ooh.
Very
so I need to
good.
watch that.
Yeah.
Like, at least the Dark Knight, at least.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that.
and again, people say that Christopher Nolan is only good at making like self-contained movies, but you can tell the story carries on in the Dark Knight trilogy very, very well. And I wouldn't be opposed to a Tenet 2 personally, because I do think there's a lot of things they can explore. And it's just sort of funny to see at the very end Robert Pattinson sort of just holding the dangerous metal lightsaber that's now been rendered useless. He's just sort of waving it around.
Yeah,
with all these different bits of metal stacked on top of each other. It's pretty funny. Yeah, we need Robert Pattinson in more things, is my opinion.
I mean, he is, isn't he?
He's going to be in Batman. He's going to be Batman.
It looks sick as fuck. I don't care much for DC, but the movie looks great.
Yeah, that movie looks great. And you know...
And Lighthouse, give it a watch.
And The Lighthouse.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
You need to cover it in one episode.
We will indeed.
It's definitely something we can talk about.
Yeah.
You said it's really good. It's one
of my favourite horrors, I would say. Robert Pattinson, again, absolute king. John David Washington as well, needs to be in more stuff. I haven't seen him in anything apart from this and BlacKkKlansman. So, I mean, I'll probably watch some more of his movies if he's done anything else, like, good. But yeah, his performance in this is brilliant.
Give Kenneth more villain.
Yes, Kenneth Branagh.
Characters.
Yes.
Give him more. He's great. He's fun.
Yeah, he's clearly having fun with it, and I love that.
Yeah, which is all you have to do in acting. Just have fun with it, and you'll portray the character.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, final debate.
Tenet, I will give a 7 out of 10.
I'd give it an 8.
Nice. Yeah. It's personally my least favourite Nolan film, but that's a high bar. You know, that's not really, really saying much.
Inception, man. Like, come on.
Interstellar is probably my top 3 movies ever, or top 5 at the very least. So exactly, yeah. You can't really rank his movies. They're all great. Tenet is my least favourite, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's still very good.
Yeah. Recommend it, but don't be surprised if you're confused, because most...
Give it a couple of watches, I would say. Set aside the time. Maybe not one after the other.
The entire weekend.
Yeah, maybe not one after the other, because, you know, it's a very long film. But
I mean, 2.5 hours. Just watch it 3 times, and that's already 7.5 hours of your day gone.
Pretty much. So yeah, it's just come out on digital download in the United Kingdom. It came out like a month ago or something. And viewer who requested this movie, there you go. Are you happy now?
Fuck you. But also thank you, because it was still a great movie.
It was, yeah. Thanks for putting us onto that. I know when it came out in cinemas, I meant to watch it, but obviously it came out in cinemas in like March or April, and that was during all the uncertainty around COVID and whether cinemas were open or not, so I never got a chance to see it. But now now I did, and it's good. So thank you for bringing it back to my mind. And with that, we can move on to our news section.
I think we have some big ones today.
Have some massive news today. Our biggest story. Well, we have a bunch has been happening, actually, which I was surprised at, because last week was the Game Awards, and obviously there was a bunch of announcements at the Game Awards. But there has still been some more news. And I sort of thought that game companies would hold off for at least a week. But no, stuff has been happening.
Give us some slack, guys. Come
Yeah,
on.
exactly. So, obviously, anyone who cares about Cyberpunk, in any emotion towards Cyberpunk, good or bad, will probably know about this by now. This broke on, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Cyberpunk 2077 has been taken off the Sony PS4 store. So, unless you have bought a digital copy of the game, a physical copy of the game, you can't play it now on PS4.
Oh, but you can. But you are going to be given a refund.
Yeah, you are going to get a refund if you bought a digital copy, and if you got a physical copy, you can go and refund it, wherever you bought it. This is massive. I can't think of an instance where a massive AAA game like this has been pulled from a store because it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say, like, not to like shit on people who have PS4s, but what were you expecting, man?
Yeah.
Like, what were
people
you
are saying
expecting?
like the game should run on PS4s and Xboxes perfectly because it was first announced and it first went into development 7 years ago. But you realise that the game has changed since its inception. Like it's a different game probably than when you got that first teaser trailer all the way back in whenever 2013, 2014. And it's not for your console. But that doesn't change the fact, of course, CD Projekt Red did release it on PS4, so it is their fault.
If I was in charge of that, I just wouldn't have let them do it.
Yeah, I would have made it a next gen exclusive.
It's their fault for not realizing that they should have known that these kinds of consoles would not have been able to handle it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is their responsibility.
Yeah, they didn't give PS4 players enough of a showcase of what it looked like.
On a PS4.
Because they sent out a video of how it runs on the PS4 Pro. Obviously, the PS4 Pro is quite a significant step up from the base PS4. And even then, on PS4 Pro, it runs okay.
But that's as much as you're going to get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't show anything about it running on base PS4, so people were buying it thinking, oh, it's going to run fine. Obviously not. It's pretty much unplayable on PS4. It has not been removed from the Microsoft Store for Xbox One, but it does. But when you go to buy the game on the Microsoft Store, it comes up with a warning about performance issues. So it's basically like, buy at your own risk, the game will run like garbage.
Yep.
Which I think it's kind of unfair, because I know Xbox One is marginally better than base PS4 in terms of like processing power, but like it's still going to run like garbage, and I do think they should take it off the Xbox Store. Obviously this isn't permanent. Like, they're going to bring it back when the game is playable on PS4. But that could be a while, like considering when Doom Eternal launched on Xbox, PS4 and PC, which was like March, I believe. It's around the same time as Animal Crossing.
Yes, it wasn't the same release date.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The same day. I think it was March 20th, because I know that's when Animal Crossing came out. And it's only just now come out on Switch.
Exactly.
Like the end of November, it came out on Switch. So yeah, it's good. It might take them a while to downgrade it enough for it to be playable, which is a shame.
And then I don't even know how Doom Eternal looks on the Switch, because it's a good looking game. So I don't know how they're gonna do it. How they did it on Switch.
It runs. I've seen comparison videos, and it is quite a big step down, but it's not as much as you would expect. Actually, I was quite impressed. It runs at 30. It runs at 30 FPS solid in handheld, and then when you dock, it goes up to like 50. So that's not bad for Doom Eternal.
Only 50.
But for a Switch, Dan, come on.
I know. I'm just shitting on the Switch because I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the power of ID software, though. They've managed to optimize it so much it runs at 50 FPS on a Switch. Yeah. And
praise ID.
Yeah, but back to Cyberpunk. CD Projekt Red have basically started groveling on Twitter. They've sort of got down on their knees saying, "We're sorry. Please forgive us. It's totally our fault, which I don't think it was entirely their fault, but obviously they do share some of the consequence for this
They have the
release.
responsibility for it.
Yeah.
They are developers.
They are the developers, I get that. But,
Yeah.
and they're sort of saying, the cost of fixing the game, they've said on Twitter, the cost of fixing this game is irrelevant compared to restoring company reputation. So,
Good.
at least they're fully committed to fixing
Exactly.
it.
That is. Oh,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. If they do fix it, this will never be forgotten.
Yeah. Oh no, this will go down as one of the most disastrous launches. Like second to only
Exactly.
like Mass Effect Andromeda, in terms of how bad the launch game was.
I bought that game.
Oh my God.
It was my first Mass Effect. It was the game that introduced me to Mass
I'm
Effect.
so sorry. The
Yep.
first three are so good.
Exactly. I know. Exactly. Which is why the amount of disappointment I had when I opened the game, and it filled me with menus and shit to do when I didn't even know what to do with. There was so much.
Yeah.
There was too much.
Yeah.
Fed you too much. I'm not even talking about any of the other shit things about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about that. Yeah. Next news, pretty much.
Yeah. More on Cyberpunk. Well, sort of. Death Stranding. I forgot this game
Yeah,
existed.
I
Death
think we all.
Yeah. Death Stranding has released a Cyberpunk 2077 DLC update. Did you know about this?
Saw it on the Steam page
Yeah.
for Cyberpunk. It was like a Cyberpunk X Death Stranding, like some Smash looking ass.
Yeah, it's the weirdest goddamn.
Isn't it just like visual things? Like you can just have like cybernetic things onto the main character.
Yeah, you can put your things on Sam's face. Like you could put the cyberpunk, sort of lines or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can have his bike. You can make it into Jackie's bike from Cyberpunk, which looks fine, but it's not. Why? It's just mystifying to me. Like, why would they make this? But yeah, that exists, and that is it. Thankfully, that is it for our weekly Cyberpunk update. There's no Elden Ring update this week. Big rip. No new details on Elden Ring, but there is a lot of gaming news. It's gonna come. It's gonna release. I promise. It will release.
we promise. Yeah, come on, please.
Also, one more teeny bit of Cyberpunk news. Xbox have now opened themselves up to Cyberpunk refunds. So anyone who wants a refund on Cyberpunk, they're going to fully refund them. Yeah. On to some Xbox news. There's a surprisingly large amount of Xbox news. Halo. Halo, I think it's Halo 2, 3, ODST, and 4 will shut their online servers in December 2021. Now,
what?
Yeah, and Reach. I don't know if I said Reach, but Reach also.
No, really?
All of the Xbox 360 Halo games, basically, will be shutting their...
Is all Master Collection?
Yeah. They will be shutting their dedicated servers in December 2021. You will not be able to play online in those games anymore. The online for the Master Chief Collection versions of these games will still be up, but the original games on the Xbox 360 will not support multiplayer anymore.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. It's sad, but thank God they're keeping up the Master Chief Collection ones.
Yeah, totally, yeah, because that game is newer, obviously. And I think Microsoft are saving the servers for Infinite, which is coming out at some point.
Please, just yeah.
And I don't know. Oh, also a bit of Halo Infinite news. They've 343 have taken it back into graphical development, so they're touching everything up. Craig will now look like a next gen model. They said.
Go on.
Yeah, they said the first thing they did was upgrade Craig. That was the first
At
task.
least they're aware. At least they're aware.
Yeah, exactly.
like,
They're aware of the
the thing
news.
is, I gave them a little bit of like, okay, this was a bit of a shit show, but
Yeah.
I'm like, they recorded that like 9 months ahead, but like before that, so
Yeah.
I kind of,
Yeah.
I kind of like, okay, as long as you update that, then that's fine.
Yeah.
So they update. I liked how it looked, like
I
visually.
thought it looked.
If they just up that,
Yeah, I didn't think it looked like a Series X game, but
I
don't
still
know.
enjoyed it visually.
Yeah, we'll see.
I like-
Obviously,
It's a step up from Halo 5. I think by a long shot.
Yeah, I
just think it
I
looked-
agree. And because it's a Microsoft exclusive, they're gonna have to optimize it for both Xbox One and Xbox Series X. So I can forgive the sort of lack of amazing visuals like some PS5 exclusives have. That's just because of the route Microsoft has chosen to go down for next gen consoles.
Yeah.
And some more Xbox news. This time coming out of Arc 2, which we touched on a teeny bit. Vin Diesel. We announced it.
The thing is, it came out of nowhere, and I could only tell it was Ark 5 minutes into the trailer, where you saw the little stones in their arms.
I just thought it would be
that
like
was
a
when I
Vin
thought,
Diesel
that was
caveman
last
game.
10 seconds. Exactly. That was in the last 10 seconds of the goddamn trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's Ark. What? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
So Arc 2 will
Vin
be
Diesel.
with Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is also an executive producer of the game. So
No.
he apparently he has over 2,000 hours on Ark Survival Evolved.
What? So Vin Diesel's a gamer.
He's a Vin Diesel's a gamer, yeah, apparently, and
Holy shit.
and he's that just reminds me of the story that also broke. I wasn't going to mention it, but it's just a funny little story that broke on the set of The Witcher, the TV show, filming season 2. Henry Cavill, who's the main star, injured his leg and had to be sent home for a few weeks, and then suspiciously a picture of him with a new NVIDIA RTX 3090 pops up a few days later. So so it's sort of just did he purposefully fake his leg injury to get some good gaming in? We don't know, but yeah, Vin Diesel is a executive producer on Arc 2 anyway, so he has a massive hand in how the game is going to go, and it's going to be an Xbox.
Well, if he has that many hours.
Pardon? Yeah, exactly.
If
he has that many hours, yeah,
then I can see why.
Yeah.
I appreciate going to a fan in order to help him out with it.
exactly.
Didn't know Vin Diesel was going to be that fan, but
yeah, pretty
that.
unexpected. And it's going to be an Xbox Series X and Series S launch exclusive. So that, by the way, it says launch exclusive in the official statement. It feels like it's going to be a timed exclusive. It feels like it is coming to PlayStation at some point.
Oh, so like FF7 remake.
Yes, exactly. Like,
Because that's exclusive.
Yeah.
PS4.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Still waiting for that piece.
yeah, we need the PC port right now.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
Yeah.
Like those. God. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. Continue.
Yeah. I guess this and one more bit of Xbox news, but it is sort of just gaming news in general. Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation have announced a partnership for a shared commitment to safer gaming. That is all we know right now. So the big three have.
What does that mean?
The big three have joined forces. Obviously, the biggest. Obviously, none of this is substantiated. None of this is confirmed. The biggest rumor is crossplay between all consoles. I think it's likely. And I really, personally, I don't see what else they could be collaborating on.
Safer gaming. That's what.
Yeah, but it's very mysterious. Obviously, as more updates come from this situation, we'll keep you posted, but that's all we know right now. It's very exciting. I'm excited for this. I don't know what it's going to be, but we shall see. And speaking of a game developer who was not invited to the party, Google Stadia. Google Stadia completely shut down on Monday for all of Monday. Following an outage at Google servers, and I experienced. I think we experienced this as well. YouTube got shut down for a while.
Oh yes, YouTube did work.
Yeah,
Yes.
Google Hangouts, Google Meets, stuff like that.
Google Meet.
Also, my Discord got messed up for some reason.
It was taking extremely long to send messages. I had the same thing.
Yeah, it was really strange. But we all.
That's the thing. That's how much we depend on Google.
Exactly.
Like if they go down, tons of shit goes down.
Exactly. And we pretty much got it all back up within like an hour or two, maybe, if that, probably less.
Still didn't attend the rest of Google Meet, though.
Yeah, of course not. But Stadia was out for the whole day, and I can
imagine
only
that 8-year-old son playing on his Google Stadia, and he's like, "Dad, it's not working."
Dad, I
He
can't
got it for his
play
birthday.
I can't play Cyberpunk at 20 FPS at like 480p. Oh god.
480. That's complimentary, Mason. I'd say 144.
Yeah, that's pretty much the basic Stadia resolution. That's all. That's probably all.
No download, just play.
Yeah. No.
God.
That's all we're gonna
Just
say
no.
about Stadia, ever. I hope.
Yes. Never come back.
Oh,
Never
some
make a
more-
Stadia 2.
Yeah, some more Smash. Some more Smash. We will get onto Smash, but some more Halo news
Ooh.
that I missed out on when I was
Oh,
talking
cool.
about the sad news that the Halo 360 games are going to go dark. But there is a flip side. Halo the Master Chief
Go
Collection
on.
will be getting more content and more features in 2021. This is confirmed. So, give us a red versus blue mode.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait, that's illegal.
if Fortnite can do it, then surely the Master Chief Collection can do it. But yeah, this is going to be...
Like it's good on its multiplayer front.
Yeah.
Just, you know, each game has its good multiplayer side. So just give it to us. Give us just more shit. 'Cause I love the Master Chief Collection right now.
also,
It's pretty much finished.
That's pretty... Yeah, I think that means Halo 5, personally, in my opinion. Obviously, that's not confirmed. I think that means Halo 5 is going to be added to it, even though it's not technically a Master Chief game.
Yeah. Well, why is it not?
Because Spartan Locke, everyone loves Spartan Locke.
Everyone's favorite disaster character.
And,
God.
Maybe this could mean some new content that we've never seen before, because obviously the Master Chief... Go on.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was gonna say, imagine that they put Halo 5 onto it, but they just cut out all the scenes and missions that you play as a log.
So it's just all the Master Chief. It's technically Master Chief again.
Exactly. Exactly. So it is a Master Chief game then.
Yep.
Yeah. I would rather that.
Yes. And obviously, until now, the Master Chief Collection has been remastered versions of existing Halo games. So I personally hope this will make like some new content that we haven't seen before. That would be pretty cool.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm not expecting a full game because they're already working on Halo Infinite, but maybe like a smaller game, sort of like Halo Wars side story type of thing.
Oh yeah.
But
maybe.
Obviously we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. 2 bits of Overwatch news this week.
Oh.
Obviously, the first one is the Overwatch Winter Wonderland event has begun. It began on Monday, I believe. And it obviously it comes as every Overwatch event does, new skins, emotes, new game modes, stuff like that. And I'm just informing you. If anyone still plays Overwatch,
For the 20 worldwide fans of Overwatch left.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. some more Overwatch details. Also, Overwatch 2 will get a full press briefing. We'll get a full press slot at BlizzCon 2021, which is in February.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm expecting... So obviously that means it's going to get like an hour or maybe 2 of new info. And I'll be tuning in a year without E3. These sort of independent gaming conferences have been important to anyone wanting to get like the latest updates and stuff like that on games. And we'll see. Overwatch 2 looks great so far from what I've seen, and I can't wait to see what they have planned.
It improves on everything that Overwatch 1 that I have a gripe with.
Exactly.
So,
well, I can't
that
wait.
could help out.
I doubt we'll see a release date, and if we do see a release date, it will be ages away.
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit of news I didn't see coming whatsoever. Sam Lake, who is the writer of Control and Alan Wake, so two games by Remedy Studios, 2 story-based games. Both of them are absolutely amazing. Control is one of my favourite games ever. I would highly recommend. It's I think it's free on Game Pass now, if you have an Xbox, so go and pick that up. Sam Lake has said he has done the first story draft for the next big Remedy game. So we know nothing else about this, but I hope it's going to be as good as Alan Wake and Control, because both of those have incredibly deep, complex, very cool stories on top of brilliant gameplay. So we'll see. Remedy have always been known for sort of pushing the boundaries of whatever generation of console they're making the games on. Alan Wake was Xbox 360 and PS3. Control was PS4, Xbox One. And we'll see what they have to do with the PS5 and Series X, because I'm strongly thinking that that's what this next game is going to be released on. And we'll see how far they can push the hardware, which is going to be great. And I think... a bit of a PSA here for all fans of Smash Bros. Dan is the one to thank for this, because he put me onto this game. Fraymakers. If you don't know the name, look it up. Fraymakers is a platform fighter which is going to be releasing not soon, but it will be releasing. It's in development, starring characters from indie games. So if you are, like me, sort of dissatisfied with the roster of third-party characters that Smash Bros. Currently has, check out Fraymakers. They have a bunch of fan favourites already, and it looks like they're going to add more, depending on the amount of community support they get. They have a Kickstarter, so if you want to just donate a little bit to this indie game, help them put more fighters in. And also,
who makes it?
I can't remember, but it's a really small team.
No, you'll probably know them. They're the people who made Smash Flash.
Yeah. So Smash Flash is brilliant.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. They are good at making a platform fighter, so you can tell this game will be good.
Yeah, and this is their first official game release.
Exactly.
Go and check out Fraymakers. Go and check out the Kickstarter. It looks amazing. Obviously, they have a base roster already announced. Hopefully, they're going to add more. They also have a bunch of assist trophies, like tons of assist trophies for characters that they couldn't quite think of a moveset of, which I get.
Well, they're different. With which they're different, but I like, because you choose an assist for a character you play, and you can just call them whenever you want. They're like on a timer. But I think that's a really cool idea. It's pretty much just like if you're playing like a fighting game and you have more than one character, then you can use them as an assist. It's pretty much just that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I dig that.
And we've seen sort of Smash knockoffs bring in third-party video game characters as well. Like Rivals of Ether has Shovel Knight and Ori, and Brawlout has Hyper Light Drifter. But this is a game completely focused around other game characters. I think there's a character from Rivals in the game as well. So
yes,
cool.
It's the Orca.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the Orca.
Yeah. And it's gonna be. It looks good. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Go and check it out.
It's pixel, but it's like high def pixel art.
Yeah,
So
It
it's
looks
pretty cool.
it's a labor of love. It looks so well designed. And
Yeah.
now that's it for the gaming news. On to a little bit of movie news. The new Mortal Kombat movie, titled just Mortal Kombat, has an April 2021 release date. The release date has been confirmed, and
Oh shit.
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
That's all I can
Definitely
say.
gonna watch it.
Oh yeah,
Whether I'll enjoy it,
yeah.
matter of depending on when it happens. You know?
I think video game movies have been getting better throughout the past,
Yeah,
like
that-
the 2010s. They have been getting a little bit better, I would say, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Also on the Zack Snyder Justice League, the Snyder Cut of Justice League, a little bit of update on that. Justice League will be rated R, so that's a high 15. So that's 15 to 18 for language and violence. So obviously this draft of the movie is going to have Darkseid in as the main villain. So I'm hoping for some gory kills with him. I'm not going to lie, because I feel like Marvel missed the opportunity to with Thanos to sort of show his more sadistic side. Obviously, because Marvel is more kid friendly than DC. And I hope we sort of see that side of Darkseid in the movie, because that would be cool. Also, some Disney news, some Pixar news. The new film Lightyear is a Toy Story spin-off focusing around Buzz Lightyear, but the actual guy that the toy was based off. The actual astronaut, space ranger, whatever.
It's on the TV series that came out, Buzz Lightyear from Star Command.
That was good.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I have that.
Yeah, so do I.
Disc, yeah. So I feel like they're gonna do some pretty well, and if it's made by Pixar,
yeah, and
then
the one image has come out of it, and it looks amazing. Yeah. It's just an image of Buzz Lightyear in like a cockpit, and it looks absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Hemsworth.
Chris Evans, yeah.
Chris, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Evans will be voicing him instead of Tim Allen, which I'm kind of annoyed at, but you know, it's not the toy. It's a new character.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. I mean, he's a good actor, so you know.
Yeah, exactly.
He may be a good voice
Captain
actor.
America.
Exactly.
And I think that Dave Bautista, who is obviously the WWE wrestler, and also the actor who plays Drax in the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Avengers Endgame or Infinity War or whatever, says that Marvel's the storylines of the new Marvel movies that are coming out and the new Marvel TV shows that are coming out on Disney Plus were originally planned to exist in the same universe, but due to filming delays they've had to change the story, so now the TV shows and the movies are in separate universes now. So the TV shows will not be
they're non-canon.
Yeah, the TV shows will not be part of the MCU. They will be part of different their own thing. Which I'm kind of sad by, because I really like the look of WandaVision. But you know, it might still be good. I hope so. I hope the new script is good. I can't say the same for any of the new Marvel movies apart from Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2. Those are the only real ones I have any investment in. Yeah.
I cannot wait to see how it works.
Oh my god, yes. Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2 are also confirmed to be linked. So either Spider-Man's going to be in Doctor Strange or Doctor Strange is going to be in Spider-Man. I don't think Doctor Strange is going to be in Spider-Man, because by the sounds of things, the cast is going to be pretty goddamn big already, with the original Doctor Octopus coming back, and that pretty much confirms Tobey Maguire. I can't lie, that pretty much confirms Tobey Maguire, and I'm very excited.
It's such a...
I can't wait. Onto a little one last bit of film news. Unfortunately, the actor for the original Boba Fett, so that was in episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Star Wars, Jeremy Bulloch, has unfortunately passed away this week, aged 75. He he was a good actor. Also, he was more of a theater actor, and obviously he played Boba Fett in Star Wars. Rest in peace. And I hope he was happy with the new portrayal of Boba Fett in The Mandalorian, because I personally think it's very good. And on to our manga and anime news. Unfortunately, also, the creator of Ultraman, the Ultraman manga and the Ultraman anime from like the 70s and 80s, Daiji Kazumine. Sorry about that pronunciation. He has passed away also this week, aged 84. He's pretty much contributed so much to the superhero and like Gundam anime genre. Power Rangers definitely would not exist without Ultraman. And rest in peace. You did great work. Also in anime news, This comes after Funimation's acquisition of Crunchyroll. Last week. Funimation has released a streaming app on the Nintendo Switch. It's the first video on demand app. Obviously, it has a YouTube app already, but this is the first streaming service that's been released on the Switch. So you can get, and also many people have noticed that Crunchyroll shows are also on there, but only in dubbed form. Obviously, Crunchyroll still exists as its own app, website, whatever. But this Funimation Switch app has Crunchyroll shows, but only in dubbed, which is a shame. RIP Crunchyroll. You were not the best, but you were better than Funimation. Also, this is a really weird story. Yu Yu Hakusho, the late 90s, early 2000s manga and anime, is getting a live-action Netflix series.
What? Why now? It's been so long.
This has come out of nowhere, but it was announced on Wednesday. Yu Yu Hakusho is a very good manga. I would highly recommend reading it. But a Netflix series now is just weird to me. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know, I can't pass judgment on something that isn't even out yet. And we're going to end our news segment and this episode on a happy note, a triumphant note, I would even say. Japanese police, prosecutors, have officially arrested the suspect for the arson attack on Kyoto Animation Studios all the way back in 2019. They found him.
Got him.
Yep, they found him. Finally, this broke on Thursday. They've arrested him for counts of multiple counts of murder, assault, conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, arson, and property damage. He is going away for the rest of his life.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Exactly. Good. The fire that he started at the Kyoto Animation Studios unfortunately claimed 33 people. It was extremely tragic, and I'm glad to see that Kyoto are getting back on their feet. Like in the latter half of this year, they've sort of dipping their toe back into anime. They've released the Violet Evergarden movie, which is doing bits at the Japan box office. It is making so much money, and I'm so glad to see it.
But if they did that, then they deserve it.
Exactly.
After what they've been through.
Exactly. I'm glad to see them back on their feet. And that concludes the news segment for this episode, also concluding the episode. So thanks everyone for tuning in to episode 6 of the Weeb Couch. We hope you all enjoyed, and we hope you've got a few new recommendations based on what we've been talking about. So make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment if there's anything at all you want us to cover, and email us. Our email's in the description. This episode's cover art, as always, is done by Dan himself. His art Instagram is down in the description, so go and follow him. And unless you have any other passing remarks, Dan.
I do have news about my cover art, which I've told you already.
Yeah.
I didn't give myself enough time to do this next cover art, so I am still working on it.
Yeah.
So until then, this first cover art that I did will be in use for placeholder.
Yeah.
But when it is finished, Mason will do all the editing skills, and he will change things.
Yeah.
I'll do some posting, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He's only human.
But,
He's only human. Yeah.
Yeah.
The new
I
cover
felt
art. The
over
new
the-
cover art is coming when it's finished, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. It's close as well. It's got to
Yeah.
work on the background a bit, and other than that, just got to do some stuff. Yeah, I felt a bit of burnout over this week, so it was a bit rough. But I'll finish it. I can promise you guys, I will finish it.
Yeah.
So it'll be done.
Okay.
I can say that. But other than that, I can say Cyberpunk 2077 was a meh.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the Emoji Movie kind.
Yeah, it was a
That's
mess.
all I have to
And yep, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you tune in next week because we've got a very special episode. Obviously, next week will be our final episode of 2020 for the Weeb Couch. So we're going to be doing a retrospective episode, looking back on the year, what's happened, all the best and the worst of what's come out of 2020.
wonder what the worst will be.
Make sure you tune in next Sunday. As always, we're here every Sunday. And until then, everyone, have a good week, and we'll see you next week.